Welcome back to this special edition of Hannity. Well, Democrats are floundering, and the public infighting is only getting worse. Michigan Senator Elisa Slotkin is now encouraging Democrats to stop being, quote, weak and woke, and to effing retake the flag. But for the Democratic Party, woke might be here to stay because one of the champions of woke ideology, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is fueling speculation about a run for president in 2028. Look at this video and you decide.
You know, Idaho, I am so touched being here. I'm a girl from the Bronx. To be welcomed here in this state, all of us together, seeing our common cause, this is what this country is all about. Don't let them trick us into thinking we are enemies. Don't let them trick us into thinking we can be separated into rural and urban, black and white and Latino. We are one.
It's the elevator music for me in the background that I think solidifies she's running for president. Here now with reaction, Democratic pollster Doug Schoen and Fox News contributor David Webb. So, Doug, the Democrats just seem like they can't accept that the entire country shifted to the right in November. They're going to go all the way to the left, so it seems, in 2028.
Katie, I wish I could disagree with you, but you're right. My party did not read the mandate of the election correctly. They should be for tougher borders, getting tough on inflation, pro-growth policies, fiscal discipline. In fact, they're veering towards socialism, open borders, allowing crime in the inner city to effectively run rampant. And even worse than that, Katie, what we're seeing is an official of the Democratic National Committee, David Hogg, is using his position to raise money for primaries against other Democrats who are not sufficiently woke. I mean, this is craziness as far as I'm concerned.
And so, David, what's the old saying? You know, if your opponent's making a mistake, don't stop and don't step in and stop them. But, you know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is charismatic. She has a big following online. And let's be honest, half the country did turn out to vote for Kamala Harris. So maybe she could actually make some headway.
Well, look, she'll probably make some headway. But, you know, Doug, my friend, great to see you. If they did what you suggested, they would have to change to Republicans. That's not going to happen. And while, to Katie's point, half of the country, or almost half, did vote for Kamala Harris, why they cast their votes and what that subset is that AOC and Bernie Sanders and Elisa Slotkin, David Hogan, others are playing to is an even smaller subset of that. Therefore, their chances of winning a general election are even further diminished. And when it comes to the state-by-state issues, that I'm more concerned about, especially when you look at the retiring senators and the fact that they could keep some of those seats. I'd like to see Republican pickups. But they're messaging, they're cursing, they're swearing, they're dark woke, they're this woke, they're anti-oligarchy. It's all about coalescing the hard left with a loud voice, but a smaller subset of Americans who look for their desired outcomes. They want safety, security. They don't believe that illegal alien criminals who commit violent crimes to the level of rape and murder, or frankly even robberies, should be in our country, or that we shouldn't have a strong economy and that parents shouldn't have a say in their children's education. So their narratives don't match what a normal person, regardless of political affiliation, wants for themselves. They represent a very small subset.
You know, Doug, hypocrisy in politics is a pretty normal thing, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Not for everyone, but a lot of politicians say one thing and do another. But when it comes to this oligarchy tour, you have AOC and Bernie Sanders talking about an oligarchy, which I'm not sure that most Americans really understand what that is. But then they get caught flying on a private jet to these events, trying to hide themselves, and yet we have the footage of them walking off. And not only are they arguing that you can't be an oligarch, but for climate change and all this other stuff. And to me, watching the 2024 campaign, whether it was Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, authenticity is something that Democrats are lacking, and they're having a really hard time getting that back and getting the voters to trust them that when they say something, they actually mean it.
Well, again, Katie, I wish I could disagree, and I wish I could disagree with my friend David Webb, but my party, and particularly AOC and Bernie Sanders, have gone far left. They have been hypocritical about both their lifestyle, their mode of transport, and indeed, they're out of touch with the issues the American people care about. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, Bill Clinton, who I worked for in the White House, moved to the center, tough on crime, fiscal discipline, welfare reform, and won the White House and won the trust of the American people, left office with a 60% approval. Now my party is moving left, dividing itself, and is completely out of touch. We may win the midterms because of problems with the Republicans, but we certainly will not win 2028 and beyond without a centrist mainstream party.
So, David, real quick, between Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, and AOC, who's going to be the nominee?
You know, it is likely, I would say more likely to be Gavin Newsom, but who knows? But whoever the nominee is, and to Doug's point, if the Republicans deliver on the promises, if the economy, safety, security, call it Maslow's hierarchy of needs comes into play, and the American people get more of their desired outcomes, Democrats will likely be out of national power for at least 2 more cycles. When you look at what they would need to do to win over the American people, they're not in a position in 2028. Doesn't mean I don't count them out. Doesn't mean they're not going to lie, cheat, and steal and push narratives and socialist ideas and far left ideas, but it will not get them the national, or certainly hope it never gets them the national conquest of the presidency. And as far as the House, I think Republicans are going to defy history, deliver wins for the American people, get it into the end zone, and you will see the results at the ballot box up and down the ballot.
Well, we will be watching all of it, I'm sure. Doug Schoen, David Webb, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.